mute yourself back again.
Hey, Georgia, this is TZ. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. I was so just intrigued by profit share, and I felt like I had a good understanding of it before, but I realized that I didn't. And now that I'm on the ALC in our office, part of those responsibilities is contributing to profit share. So I invited a couple people in my downline to come because I really, the light bulb went off that this is a great way to expand your personal business and your growth. So I'm just looking forward to having conversations with them about how to grow their network. And also, I have a new agent that joined that is in my profit share tree too. So she is involved in a Rotary and involved in so many great things, and she's just going to come across a lot of great people. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you do that, and I'm so glad that you invited, your tree, so you can help build their wealth.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What do you want to learn today, Jessica?
Oh, wow. So today I have been learning about contracts, addendums, everything to do with contracts.
What do you want to learn? What do you want to learn today about profit share?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said, what did you learn today? What do I want to learn about profit sharing? Everything about how it works.
Awesome.
Everything.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go into some details on that today. So I'm glad that you want to learn that.
Yes, fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's about just a little bit past 11:30, so let's get started. And what I'm going to do is there's a great video that you all can get on KW Connect. It's if you just go in, when you go into KW Connect, you can click on search, the little search magnifying glass up at the top, and you can put in profit share today, and this video will pop up. So let me play this for you. We tried this like on one of the original classes, and we had a little bit of disruption, but I'm going to try it today. If you guys feel that it's not working out there for you, let us know. But we ran it a couple of times this morning and it seemed to work fine. But this is Gary Keller, and I don't think anybody can. I just want you to get the history and the mindset before we start our session today. So I'm going to play this video. It's about 7 minutes. And again, then I think this is great for you guys to utilize for anything that you want to do in growing your profit share. And I also want to welcome any market centers that have their agents on this session today. So welcome and thank you for being with us, as well as our individual participants. So here we go.
You know, the strength of any organization comes from its people and the cultural bonds that connect those people to the organization. Throughout Keller Williams' history, those bonds have been nurtured through many channels, but are best personified in one very important mission: to build businesses worth owning and lives worth living. In many ways, that short sentence has acted as our compass, helping us navigate clearly as the waters around us churn with uncertainty. I've found that in business, just as in life, there are many roadmaps, but few compasses that point us to our true north. This may be the misunderstood secret of most success. Simplicity is where it all begins, and although everything wants to naturally become more complex, success is always found in simplicity. Our model for success has always been a simple one: have low fixed expenses, have low to no variable expenses, keep a responsible physical footprint, be a training and consulting company, share our profits with all who helped us earn them, and most recently, we've added build, own, and control our technology. Now, all of these ideals thrive today because of the work that each of you do on a daily basis. And together, we've created the largest real estate company under one brand the world's ever known. And we're also just getting started, right? Today, I want to chat with you about one of the significant pillars of culture, profit share. To date, you and your partners have shared over $1.2 billion with our stakeholders and have enriched countless lives in the process. What used to be just another day on a calendar, the 21st day of the month, has been transformed into a connected cultural experience that lives and breathes the world over and is studied by many companies and major universities as perhaps one of the greatest examples of corporate alignment with its partners. And along the way, creating a truly passive economic opportunity that's never been seen before in our industry. The reason that profit share is truly passive is because when you sponsor an associate to our company, you have no additional responsibilities or duties. It's the responsibility of that recruit's market center and our company to train, nurture, and mentor them. We should never give the impression to a recruit that who they choose as their sponsor has anything to do with mentorship, training, or promise of business. I have found that the best relationships in life are the ones where it was the next organic step for both parties to come together and move ahead. In this way, profit share is the perfect passive income stream for a real estate professional who naturally meets outside agents during the due course of doing business and is so happy with their experience at KW that talking about it and inviting someone to experience it on their own is not only organic, but truly is how we care about other people. As spiritual beings, we are drawn to help others. And I truly believe that Keller Williams is the greatest real estate company on the earth. I do. And part of helping others is exposing them to that company and then rewarding those who help us grow. When our agents participate in profit share, they cease being Keller Williams agents and they become Keller Williams stakeholders. If everyone at Keller Williams was a stakeholder, what would the company look like from a cultural perspective, a growth perspective, a retention perspective? You know, early in my career, I studied a gentleman named Trammell Crow. If you're unfamiliar with him, there's a great book. It's a bit hard to find because it's out of print, called Trammell Crow Master Builder. He's in the real estate industry, commercial real estate industry. And he built what at that time was the largest real estate organization on the planet, based in large part to these concepts. During an interview in 1989 at the age of 75, Trammell said, "The only things I have in my life are my business, my immediate family, and a farm. But all of those people, the partners in the firm, they're my family, my brothers. I believe in my heart that the relationships couldn't be any better or warmer than that." I hear many of us talking as adoringly about our Keller Williams as Crow spoke about his company later in his life. This sort of warmth and culture can only happen when we're all in alignment with the foundation of the system of which we're speaking. In the case of profit share, the model is simple. First, teach passive income and the power of profit share as often as possible within your market centers. We do not present profit share, we teach passive income and the power of the aligned true north opportunity it represents. Second, print and distribute your profit share statements each month within your market center. The power of those sheets of paper is incredible. Third, we honor associate referrals above all else. And that's a big deal. We built this company on trust and a promise that if our associates just excite, refer, and secure an appointment for a recruit to a Keller Williams market center, that the market center leadership of that market center will honor and support them in closing it. So let's be clear. If a recruit who was referred to a market center by one of our associates ends up in a market center's leadership's downline, you're simply doing it wrong. Any person in a leadership position is ethically bound to honor leads, no matter how that lead is generated, given to them by other Keller Williams Realty members. While the recruit may initially consider a member of market center leadership as their sponsor because they made personal contact with them, that leader must ensure that they name the person who actually referred the recruit to them and secured the appointment for them as their sponsor. Additionally, sponsorship is not related to whose team they join, any promises to help, any benefits to join, any promise to mentor or train, or even the team leader's presentation. Keller Williams Realty is a referral-based business in this way, and we train our agents to treat a referral source as good, if not better, than the referral itself. Well, that same common sense business practice should be embraced by all of our market center leadership when receiving recruiting referrals. When we reward the right behavior and foster a culture of gratitude for the associates that want to grow our market centers, it is at that very moment that our culture soars and our agents transform into stakeholders. The path of all businesses mirror the personal growth and path of its leaders. And profit share is as much a social experiment on true synergistic partnership as it is a financial certainty for its participants. That part of the reason the dream endures and together it continues to be realized. Said differently, go teach it, live it, love it. After all, you built it and it's yours.
So I love that hold on. I love that video because it really demonstrates how your profit shares should really work in your market center. So again, this is available on KW Connect. You would just type in the search bar profit-share.today, profit-share-today. And you can find that link. And when Ashley gets back, I'll have her maybe put that in the chat for you so you can make sure that you're playing that. Any questions that you have about from anything that Gary talked about on the video before we get started? Okay, awesome. It looks like we're recording, so let me just start. Now. You all should have received the profit share material through your when you registered for the class. So if you don't, then again, I'll have Ashley put this in the chat, and then you can have this a little later. And so these are the things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what profit share is, how does it work, how you can develop a purposeful plan, how a profit share tree grows, growing your tree, and then building your passive income. Now, this class is ideally written to be provided in class. So it's really a longer course than what we're going to be doing digitally today for the next hour and 15 minutes. And then I left some time in there for questions. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is I'm going to say these are homework. So if I find an area that is something that you can go back and work on, I'm going to say this is homework. Go back and find a profit share partner. Go visit with your team leader and do these sessions maybe with a partner or with somebody in your market center. All right, we've already done that, but this is again the link that if you want to watch that video that you would find, and I'll have Ashley put that in the chat box so you guys can make sure that that you can watch that. So let's turn to page 7 in your manual, and we're going to talk about passive income, and we're going to talk about it's completely, entirely, wholly, absolutely passive income. The income that you can receive from profit share has no financial risk. It has no legal risk. It does not require a down payment, and it does not have any phone calls. So let's delve into those a little bit more and what we're talking about with that. Okay, there's no financial risk because there is no investment that you need to make into profit share except maybe a little bit of your time to be able to make that phone call and thank an agent at another real estate company for doing business with you, which actually is just coming from gratitude. The other thing is it might be a great person that that you meet at an event, or it might be a talented person that you meet personally. Or I can't tell you how many people when I was a team leader that my agents would bring me that were past clients or current clients of theirs that wanted to get into real estate. So it might be the hostess at a restaurant, or somebody that's serving you in the capacity of being a great receptionist in some location. Just think outside of the box. Everybody that you talk to, I guarantee you, at some point in time, I can't tell you how many times I've mentioned real estate to somebody and they said, oh, I was thinking about getting my real estate license, or my grandmother was a great realtor, or it's funny that you mentioned that. My mom and dad are in real estate. make sure that you're having those conversations, because you just don't know who you're going to run into that's not in real estate now, that is thinking about a career in real estate, in addition to the great agents that you're doing transactions with. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. So remember, there's no financial risk to this. There's no legal risk. In other words, there's nothing that you sign, there's no paperwork, there's no anything that you're responsible for when it comes to getting passive income or referring someone. There's no down payment. Now, there is an opportunity with passive income to be able to collect profit share to help you have a down payment. But if you were thinking about buying a rental property as passive income, there is no investment necessarily made to be able to have a rental property that's going to give you future passive income. Now, you can collect profit share and it can become your down payment, and that's the good part. And there's no phone calls. You're not going to get a phone call at 10 o'clock at night or at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, my dishwasher just broken, my house is flooded with water. So there's not going to be any phone calls that you're going to get about your passive income from a rental property. Now, if you're smart enough to be able to build rental property and have rental property, you're going to have a property manager that's going to take care of that for you. So let your profit share be your avenue to be able to get passive income, to be able to buy rental property. And I see here Ashley is putting all of that material in the chat box for you, so you have access to all of the things that we're talking about now. All right, so I put this in here. This is actually something that I created because I think it's important that you really understand the value of some of the 4 key areas that we just talked about. Let's just say that you, well, let me ask you a question. Somebody can go off mute. Did anybody receive profit share last month? And would they like to tell me how much they received in profit share? Would you be bold enough to share that with us? Anybody want to go off mute and give me a number? No? All right. Well, then I'll just pick a number. Let's just say that somebody got $500 in profit share last month. So you see on the screen here, it says $500. Do you realize that that's the equivalent of having $300 in the bank at 2% interest? Now, I use 2%, and that's probably a pretty generous number right now, because you're lucky if you get probably 0.09 or even 1% interest by having your money in a bank account right now. Maybe annuities or different things could pay you higher dividends. But if you just thought about the fact of having $300,000 in an annuity, in a savings account, in some kind of retirement income account, you're probably only getting maybe about 2% return. So when you have $500 of profit share, that's the equivalent of having to earn after tax, after earnings, after taxes, and having $300,000 sitting in an account that you're receiving dividends from. That's how powerful profit sharing is. And to be honest with you, right now, probably at 1%, this would be the equivalent of having $600,000. So I want you to think about how much money would you have needed to make over the course of your career to get $300,000 or $600,000 in the bank. Now, here's something that's even more powerful. Let's just say that your profit share was $1,500 a month on average. That's the equivalent of having $900,000 in the bank, or at 1%, about $1.8 million in the bank, because you'd be receiving about $18,000 a year on that. Now, how much money would you have needed to make after all of your business expense and after paying your tax to be able to have $900,000 saved? That's the power of profit share. And it's just about picking up the phone and giving gratitude and thanking somebody for doing business with you. And that person will then say, gee, thank you. It's so nice of you to be able to recognize me for having that transaction. And then you have your team leader call and thank them for doing business, and we build relationships. That's what we're trying to do, just build that relationship by giving gratitude and showing the Keller Williams culture. Now, this slide shows it in a little bit different way. If you have a business or annual business profit or salary of $100,000, and you wanted to save 10%, which would be $10,000 a year, do you realize that it would take you 50 years to be able to save $500,000? Or it would take you 100 years to be able to save $1 million? And on that previous slide, I just shared with you that by receiving $1,000 a month, that's the equivalent of having that that money, that $1 million in the bank. And that can happen, gosh, in just a short period of time by just handing the team leader a name of somebody that you think might be interested in building a career at Keller Williams. Now, who benefits from profit share? Who benefits from profit share? Let's turn to page 9 in our book. Who benefits from profit share? Okay. You and your family benefit, your heirs benefit, okay? Your market center and the people you have influenced to join Keller Williams benefit, and Keller Williams Associates and leadership as a whole all benefit. You know, if you look up at the top of this page here, it says when Gary Keller and the first ALC created the profit share system, they were purposefully making a bold statement. Gary explains, we created a program that would treat our real estate associates like legitimate partners in the business. We created a program that allows associates to build a business inside a real estate company that is as powerful as if they were the company themselves. You see, everyone in the company benefits from this because we are all stakeholders in the Keller Williams system. And a stakeholder, if you look it up, the definition, it says anyone that has a beneficial interest in some type of an organization. Well, Keller Williams is that organization. So when you have the opportunity to have someone name you as their sponsor because you were enlightened them about the opportunities at Keller Williams, and they could be in Orlando, they could be in Florida, they could be in the North Florida region, they could be in another state, in another territory, they could be in Canada, they can now be worldwide. When you influence someone to make a decision to join Keller Williams and they name you as your sponsor, you now are a stakeholder and have a beneficial interest in the organization. You're a stakeholder whether you have someone in your tree or not. It's just a matter of, are you taking advantage of all the profitability that Keller Williams has built? By the way, Gary Keller talked about in that presentation 1.2 billion. We just surpassed 1.6 billion. I think that video is probably maybe about 6 months to a year old. So we just passed the $1.6 billion mark in profit share. And what I'm going to say is that first $1 billion, 50% of that first $1 billion, it took us about 25 to 30 years to create that first billion, or that first $500 million. That second half of that 1 point, whatever would be remaining, was given out in this last probably 5 to 7 years. That's that geometric progression, because we've grown to be 160 to 180,000 agents strong. And because of the power of that geometric progression and the power of the profit share system, the more we grow, the faster this profit share is growing out. And, you know, Gary has said many times, and I've heard others have said, that, you know what, the top profit share earner has not joined us yet. And I'm going to show you some pretty significant profit share earners that we have in our company as we move forward in our process. Now, the other opportunity on page 9 in your manual, it says that you can experience 100% plus. What that means is that you can actually earn whatever your cap is. So if your cap in your market center is the equivalent of 18,000, or if you're from another area and your cap might be 20,000 or 25,000, you can actually earn that amount of money or more. So it totally is free to be able to be at Keller Williams because your profit sharing is actually paying for your cap. So there's more benefits from that. So here's something that's going to be a homework for you. Or you could just go ahead and put it in the chat if you'd like. Picture what you can do with additional income. So what I'd like you to do is just think about something crazy. Like, you want to take a vacation, you know, maybe not right now with the pandemic, but, you know, when we're through this, where would you like to vacation? Do you want to go buy a house someplace? Do you want to go have a boat? Do you want to give your money to a philanthropic organization? Do you want to be able to save money for your kids' college education? What is it that profit share could really do for you? I want some of you just to go in the chat box right now and write that down, and let's see what you think. Picture what you can do with a little bit of extra income. What would you do with that? Go into that chat box and write that down, and let's see what you guys are going to come up with. Buy a new car. Ooh, the Caribbean. I love that. Whenever we get started back with those cruises, right? I mean, we have so much opportunity here living in Florida that those cruise lines are just a little bit not too far away from. Upgrade my home. I love that. Being able to reinvest. What about buying a piece of rental property? Build a real estate legacy to leave for my family. Travel to national parks around the U.S. I love that, Julia. That's awesome. So you see, guys, this is what, imagine you have $500, $1,000, $2,000. What, you know what? I just talked to somebody today and they just got their first profit share check and it was $66.66, I think. And so that's how it starts. Yet it will continue to grow and grow and grow. So let's move on and let's go to the next page in your manual. And let's talk about who is in the KW profit share system. Who do you know? And you and every person within Keller Williams. So whether you receive monthly profit share distribution today or not, the answer to the question is every associate is in the Keller Williams profit share system. I did a video a few years ago about profit share, and what it was about everybody when they join Keller Williams needs to name a sponsor. This is not a choice. So everybody in the system names a sponsor when you join Keller Williams. Each and every one of you are as a member of Keller Williams, and each and every one of you, even if you picked up the phone and made that appointment yourself, you all were asked to name a sponsor. So that is something that we all do. We need to name a sponsor. Now, at some point in time, somebody is going to join Keller Williams that you know, that you are going to wish that you had referred to your team leader, so you could get benefit from that profit share tree. So just remember that everybody has that opportunity. Equal opportunity, unequal outcome is what we like to say. So who do you know in the market center that receives profit share distributions? Write their names, follow up with them and ask them, how did they get started? So this is a great exercise that you can go and you can talk to your team leader, you can talk to your growth committee chairperson, find out about who else has profit share in your market center and find out how they got started, okay? Now, growth share, as on page 13, is actually something that we do in worldwide. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but if you know, profit share is what we do in the United States and Canada, in North America. And in worldwide, we also have what's called growth share. Now, growth share is a little bit different because the financial opportunities in other countries is different than in the United States. Money is currency, is treated differently. Market centers are a little bit different. So it's not just about profit sharing. It's about how the money is distributed, how it can be counted, and it's actually called currency or different dollars in many of the countries. So what they decided to do is it's based off of the royalty. And the royalty in the worldwide system is different than the royalties that we pay in the United States. It's based on a different amount of money, and it's also, it does not end. Royalty continues, it does not cap. So if you're interested in more learning about worldwide and growth share, maybe you know somebody in a country, I would encourage you to go to the worldwide website and learn more about a growth share from the worldwide team. And again, this would be if you know somebody that's in a foreign country that might be interested in joining Keller Williams. It would depend if that country has been established or not, if they actually have market centers there. It may be that you know somebody that would be interested in starting the country. So if you have worldwide exposure and wanted to learn more about that, then go to the worldwide website. Ashley, would you put that in the chat box, please? So they can go in there, and they have presentations periodically. I think once a month, they'll talk about worldwide and opportunities. And if you have someone, they'll be able to help you with that. However, it is the same tree, so it's not a different tree. They will still go in your tree. It's just that the currency or the amount is calculated differently, but they still go into your 7-level tree. All right, so how does profit share work? And this is generally what everybody is excited about learning, okay? And it's as simple as this. an associate joins any market center and names you. And realize this says any market center in the United States, Canada, or worldwide. So they join a market center and they name you as the sponsor. They pay or they contribute to company dollars. So there needs to be some type of contribution that they're making to the company dollar of that market center in order for you to be eligible to have profit share. The market center must be profitable. If the market center is not profitable for some reason, then obviously there would not be any profit to share. So that's why we encourage everyone to help everybody in the Keller-Williams system, because when we're helping agents succeed at the highest level, the company dollar, which is from your contribution you make through your 20%, 30%, whatever contribution you're on at your market center, you would call it a split. I call it a contribution. So whatever you contribute to the company dollar, the more that we have that, the more that we're keeping our expenses down in the market center, the more profit the market center has. Now, this seems a little bit foreign, because if you've been with another real estate company, or for that matter, if you've been in business at all with another company, how often have you ever been able to see the actual company's P&L statement? Probably not very often. We're an open book company. So the good part about Keller-Williams is that you actually get to see our P&Ls every month. So you know how much the company dollar is, what the expenses are, how much profit was made in that market center. And then when an operating principal or someone makes the decision to own a Keller-Williams franchise, they actually are agreeing to give away up to about 48% of their profit into our profit share system. That's to be able to help you have passive income as a stakeholder and grow your wealth. So you're actually getting distributions as being a stakeholder from the profitability of that market center with no financial risk, no legal risk, no as we said before, no phone calls. Okay, so it's really a very, very clean way for you to be able to build your passive income just by referring someone to a Keller-Williams market center. Now, on the 21st of the month, and that just actually happened on Saturday, but on the 21st of the following month of the profitability of the market center, some of the market center's profit is actually automatically deposited into your account. Now, when we say some of it, it's because the market center had to have profitability, okay? So the profit is automatically deposited into your account. So your profit share just magically will show up into whatever account you designated you wanted to have your profit share go to with your market center. So when you sign up, you're going to fill out a profit share form, and they're going to say, what checking account do you want to have your profit share being distributed to? And it'll automatically, just auto-magically show up into your account. Now, you're not getting a portion of the agent's commission. This is really, really important. We're not revenue sharing. That would be revenue sharing. You are sharing in the owner's profit of that market center. Now, we made some changes in April 1st of 2020, and I'm on page 15 of your book. When you've been with Keller-Williams, well, prior to April 1st, 2020, when you've been with Keller-Williams for 3 years and a day, you are automatically vested. That means that if you leave Keller-Williams for any reason, your profit share will still continue to move with you. So even if you joined another real estate company, got out of the business, whatever, your profit share would automatically just continue to move with you. And you can continue to recruit. So you can continue to build your profit share tree, even though you might have left Keller-Williams and you're with another real estate company, your profit share will continue to grow. Now, for those agents who joined us after April 1st, 2020, we've changed the guidelines. And what's important to know about this is this was not a guideline that KWRI, our international company, did. This was through a decision that was made by all of our agents. Because we are a company of sharing and making decisions what's best for everyone, we have our international ALC, our IALC. And through some committee work of the IALC, they put together a program where we've extended our vesting period, because we've just gotten to this point where we realize that we need to have people who are more vested. It takes a little bit longer for them to vest. And then we put some criteria in there benefit everybody and to protect everybody's profit sharing, that even if you're with the company for 7 years and a day, that's the new vesting period, and you should leave and join another company, and as it says here, when you make a business decision to move to a competing brand, your profit share no longer follows you. And that's because we want to protect the profit share of the people that have come into the system, and not allow people to recruit people away and destroy our profit sharing system. So that's why that program was put into place. However, for those associates who choose to return to Keller Williams within 6 months of moving to a competing brand, their vesting period will be reset to reflect their prior vesting date and downline. Also, I want to make sure that you know that if you leave and just go out of business or move or do something where you're not at a competing brand, then that would, you still stay vested and you still receive profit share. Does anybody have any questions on that? The other thing that's important, and Ashley, are you monitoring my chat box? Okay. The other thing that's important to know is that you can will your profit share to a beneficiary. And if you have not done that, or you want to change your beneficiary, please go and see your Market Center MCA, because they have all the forms that they'll be able to help you with. And you have access to all the profit share reports on mykw.kw.com, specifically in the profit share folder under reports. So at any time you can go in and check your profit sharing. Again, if anybody has any questions, just go into the chat. If you want to go off mute, just raise your hand and we'll be happy to answer your question. All right, let's move on. So this is developing a purposeful plan. So know how to build your passive income, have a plan in place to activate it, and utilize our Keller Williams resources, okay? So on this page here, 17, it kind of explains that more in detail, but what I want to show you is how profit share actually works. So this is how the tree grows. So you see at the very top, there's you. So that would be you and your sponsor. So if this would be me, this would be, that would be me, so Georgia, and then your sponsor. Now my sponsor is a gentleman by the name of Monroe Carr. So Monroe Carr is my sponsor. You're going to see his name show up here in a little bit. So then as Monroe Carr had a sponsor, and his sponsor happened to be his wife, Holly Carr. So Holly Carr, then Monroe Carr, and then there's me. That is my beginning of my tree. This is how my tree grows. Now, as you see here, this is me. So you, that's me. And then your sponsor, that would be Monroe Carr. Now you notice there's 3 names there. When you go out and recruit agents, well, I should say, when you refer agents to your team leader and they name you as your sponsor, this is called your first level. You're beginning to build your tree. So these 3 people come in and name you. By the way, we're on page 20 and 21 in your manual right now. And so as your tree grows, you can see, here's me, here's Monroe, here's my first level, those 3 people that came in and named me. And you can see these 3 people here went out and got 3 people. This is how your tree continues to grow and continues to blossom. And so you can see that on page 21 in your manual. Now, I want to give you some examples of people in our system that have profit share. And I've gotten permission from them to be able to show this to you. The first person I'm going to show you is Mike Brody. Now, Mike Brody happens to be the #1 profit share earner in the Keller Williams system as an individual. Now, I know this is pretty amazing, but if you notice in October, he got $76,000 in profit share. And you might say, oh my gosh, how does that happen? He's been with Keller Williams for a long time. Well, he has been with Keller Williams for a long time. But I can tell you, you can go back and look back here, you know, his profit sharing wasn't as much as it is right now, but I want you to see how much it's grown. Okay, now you can have this same kind of opportunity if you're willing to do what Mike does, which is he focuses on his profit share tree. And the other thing is that you need to also understand is that he only has 42 people in his tree. Now, 12 months ago, he had 39. Last month, he had 41. And then this month, he had 42. But what's interesting is he may have brought people in, so he's still bringing people in, or it may be that somebody has left that was not vested and it moved everybody up. So a couple of things could actually have happened, okay? Last year, or so far this year, he's earned $526,000. And I want you to understand, even though we've been in a pandemic, look back here in February or March when we started, having our little pandemic challenges. Yes, his profit share went down, probably pretty significantly. But I want you to look and see how it's increasing, even though, we're in a pandemic. And look at this, it's growing more in October by $26,000 than it's ever grown in the past few years. So he's going to be probably pretty equal to what he earned last year. Now, this is how this story goes. Althea Osborne had the opportunity to be able to open the North Texas, New Mexico region. Gary Keller gave her that opportunity. And she was doing a pretty good job, but she needed help. So she went out and got this gentleman by the name of Darren Gribble. Darren Gribble was a telemarketer. And she said, Darren, I need to grow the North Texas, New Mexico region. I need you to call all the top producers in the area and get me some appointments. So he did this magnificent script. And remember, he was a telemarketer. He did this magnificent script, and this is how this script went. Hey, Mike, this is Darren Gribble. I know you don't know me, and I know you're probably unapproachable, but I have a new concept I would like to talk to you about. Do you have 10 or 15 minutes to visit with me? Now, Mike happened to say yes. So Mike went and met Darren Gribble based on that script, and about 2 hours later, Mike was intrigued and got an appointment with Gary Keller, and the rest is history. Now, Mike, I happen to know this because this is where I started with Keller Williams, but I happen to know that Mike worked from a card table in a market center that was not launched yet, growing his profit share tree. Now, Keller Williams has come a long way from there. And so you have more opportunities now because we're so established, we're a successful company. This is back in the day when there was not a Keller Williams that you know it today. And look what Mike and Darren have been able to do. Now, Darren Gribble, by bringing in Mike Brody, probably makes $200,000 to $300,000 a year in profit share, just by referring one person to Keller Williams. Now, here's another person, Jimmy McKissick. Now, Jimmy McKissick only has 2 people on his first line, but it's the 2 people that he has that's so important, okay? Now, he named a person by the name of Carol Bounds. Carol Bounds actually owned the Century 21 franchise in a place called Denton, Texas. At some point in time, she had recruited Jimmy and Linda McKissick to Keller Williams, and they were there as mega agents. She decided that she did not want to be a Keller Williams franchise owner anymore, and at the end of her franchise term, she called Gary Keller and said, don't want to be Keller Williams anymore, I'm moving to Century 21. So he then went to Jimmy and Linda and said, Jimmy and Linda, I need you to take over this market center, which they did. And because Linda and Jimmy were mega agents, they would be in Gary Keller's mastermind. And Gary Keller gave them a project, and his project was, there were several people, and Linda, everybody took all the projects, and Linda was left with no project. And Gary said to her, well, why don't you go do a project on profit share? Because she really wasn't that focused on it. She was listing and selling real estate. So she said, okay. So she went and did a performa on profit share, and she realized, hey, this thing could get some legs. This thing could be great. So she started to focus on it. Well, by doing so, Jimmy is her sponsor, okay? Carol Bounds is Jimmy's sponsor. Now, you can see here that Jimmy only has 2 people, and he made $57,000 last month in profit share. He'll probably earn about another $600,000 this year. I want you to look at this tree. Remember I was showing you this tree, and I said as the tree blossoms, it was designed so the people in this portion of the tree actually get the majority. It's about the who you have on the first line, but the who on the first line will bring these people, bring this people, bring these people, bring this people. So it's about getting people on your first line that helps each line grow. Now, Jimmy's wife is Linda McKissick. Here's Linda McKissick's profit share. Last month, she earned $86,000. Between the 2 of them, if you take this $800,000 and the $500,000, they earn about $1.5 million a year in profit share. How would you like to get a check one month for $108,000 in profit share or $111,000? But let's just be real. What if you got $6,000 a year in profit share? That's probably more than many people in our Keller Williams system could be getting, but that opportunity is there. What if that grew to 60,000? And what if it grew to 600,000? How amazing would that be? And again, she only has 27 people on her first line. It's about these people that bring in these people, 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 and you see how this profit share grows. Now, I want to bring you down to reality, okay? Now, you can all have the same opportunity, but I'm going to show you my profit share tree, okay? Now, I only have 9 people on my first line. And as you can see here, 12 months ago, I had 12, and there's some people that have obviously been with us for 3 years or less that have probably left, okay? But what I want you to see is that I have gotten in the past somewhere about $30,000 a year. I'll probably hit about 30, 28, 31, about 33, $36,000 a year. My husband gets about $12,000 or $15,000 a year as well because he's in the profit share system. So we'll probably get somewhere between $40,000 to $45,000 a year in profit share this year. That pays for a lot of nice vacations. It pays for a lot of investment, just many things that we have. But again, I want you to notice here how the levels is where I get the majority of my profit share tree. Again, only 9 people on my first line, but it's these people that bring in these people, 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 and this is how your profit share grows. And there's where it shows Monroe Carr as my sponsor. Now, I started out in the Keller Williams system as a team leader. So my job in the beginning was to actually grow all of my agents in my market center's profit share. So while I purposely worked on it, I did not recruit a lot of people in my beginning years as a team leader to my own tree because I was building everybody else as well. However, when I became an operating principal, I went and I found agents that wanted to join Keller Williams in Little Rock, and those people named me as their sponsor. When I moved to Florida as a regional director, I was able to go out and find talented people that wanted to join Keller Williams. Those people are in my tree. So I actually had a later start in building my profit share. And honestly, I could be more purposeful with it, as many people could be. And it could probably grow to even, I could probably double it or triple it if I actually became more purposeful in my profit share. My job is building the wealth of the people around me. So here's how profit share works. Oops. Here's how profit share works. If you're an agent in a market center, let's just say that you had a $10,000 commission. And let's just say, for the sake of this explanation, that the market center actually had $900,000 in market center GCI. That's gross commission income. Well, we pay out some of you at 100%. That means that of the $900,000 that comes in as gross commission income, we're going to be giving, in this case, $400,000 of that back to agents who are at 100%, which means that we have what we call paid on GCI, gross commission income, that we get company dollar on of $500,000. So if we were to take $10,000 divided by 500,000, there would be 0.02% of the profit share paid out. This is how your factor is calculated. Or you could say, of this $10,000, if this agent is on a 70-30 split, we're going to take 30% of the $10,000 or $3,000, which is 30% of the 500,000 is 150. And again, if we take 3,000 of the 150, 0.02 of profit share, there's their factor as to how profit share is calculated. Now, in this scenario, we have $150,000 of company dollar, we have $90,000 worth of expenses, and we have net profit of $60,000. In most brokerages, that $60,000 is what the broker will be able to take home and utilize for whatever, that's his profit. Whatever he wants to use the money for, that's their profit. But in the Keller Williams system, we say no. We know we did not grow without the success of others, because success what part of our Y4C2Ts is success through others. That's our S, success through others. We know that we're growing because of all of you. So why shouldn't we share our profits back with our associates who are helping us grow? So when you have someone come in and they name you as a sponsor and they have company dollar and the market center has profit, whoops, you will get a percentage of the profit share. And it's all dependent upon how much they contribute based on the total amount of your company dollar or your paid on GCI. So in this case, it's 0.02 of the profit share. So in this scenario, since the profit share is 28,000, which is close to 48% of the 60,000, 0.02 of this number is $560. So the way this is distributed is, if this were my profit share tree, I think I'm going to try to remember this here. Monroe, if I was the producing agent, if this were me, and Monroe as my sponsor, would get $280. Holly would get $56. Ken Huback would get $28. Susan Huback would get $28. There's another person in here that would get $42, another person in here that would get $56, and I believe Mike Brody is in my 7th level here, and he would get $70. So that's how all of that profit share is distributed. And the reason that this is done this way is to make sure that as your tree grows, that it's distributed accordingly, because we knew that as it goes wide, then there's opportunity for to be able to use these factors in order to make sure that all the profit share is distributed equally based on how we know the tree grows. It also benefits people that have been in the system the longest. So that's a little bit about how the profit share calculation works. Now, what I want to make sure that everybody understands is it is not your job to explain this. I'm explaining this to you because you're in this profit share class today. If people want to come and learn it, they're welcome to come and learn it. When you're talking to a recruit or somebody that might be interested in Keller Williams, this is not what we don't want you to have to get into detail and explain all these things. The reason that they should be coming to Keller Williams is to be able to help them build their wealth through our mission statement, which is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. That's the reason they're joining Keller Williams. So you're going to share with them a story about your success and how Keller Williams has changed your life. Profit share is the icing on the cake. It's the extra added benefit of being able to be here to help you grow your wealth. But we don't want you to get into the weeds and thinking that you have to explain all of this. So this is about focusing on your first level. This is what I've already had a conversation with you about, is that I've shown you how profit share works. And it actually has a scenario. It says Linda McKissick has a massive profit share tree with more than 9,000 associates. Only 30 people named her as their sponsor. I think we've shown now that it's grown to about 40, okay? Those people are in her first level. So is it too late to build your own tree? Absolutely not. Can you begin today? Yes. Is it hard? No. Does it require a plan and focus? Absolutely. So one of the things we want you to do is we want you to relate, refer, and then I want you to think about that word recruit, because your team leader is going to help you with your recruiting opportunities, okay? So, you never know when somebody is going to be interested in a change. And, we talk about the motivational ups and downs. And so what you want to do is you want to be able to relate to people. If you ever, and we're going to have Linda McKissick teach a profit share class for us, hopefully in the first quarter of next year. What she is really great at is she's really great at relating to people, finding something that she has in common with them. It's not about selling Keller Williams. You don't want to do the tell and sell. What you want to do is you want to relate to them, find out what they need in their life, what they might need in their business, what is missing, how do you come from contribution to be able to relate to somebody, and then give that referral to your team leader. Now, this is really important because I don't want any of you to think that your team leader is going to be doing heavy duty recruiting. What they do is, once you give them a name and you refer them, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to build a relationship with anybody that you have given to them. I don't want you to think, and sometimes in conversations I have with agents, I say, well, why don't you give the team leader your name? They say, well, because the agent I was talking to doesn't want to be recruited. We get that, and we're not going to call and recruit the person. We're not going to call up somebody and say, hey, Jimmy Jones said that you did a great job on that transaction, and we want to talk to you about joining Keller Williams. That's not the way that we do things, okay? We have a very delicate way that we work through and relate, find needs analysis, gaps in their business, really help them from a consulting perspective and coming from contribution. So that's, don't ever fear about being able to give a name to your team leader. Also, have an open dialogue with your team leader. If you have a concern about how they may be calling someone, like you don't want them to recruit, don't just stop and not give the name to somebody. Have a conversation with your team leader. Talk to them about, hey, I was just talking to Sally Sue over here at XYZ Realty. I told her she did a great job on the transaction. I called her and I thanked her for doing business, but she said she really didn't want to be recruited. So if you call Sally for, thanking her to do business, please don't mention about recruiting. And the team leader is going to honor your request. Have an open dialogue. Have a conversation. I'm going to tell you something. You could be losing out on a big opportunity of profit share if you're not passing that name along, because there's going to be somebody someday that will give that team leader that name. And you're going to see that recruit walking down the hallway and you're going to go, oh man, I wish I had done that. So always make sure you're having a conversation with your team leader on anybody that you know and also don't go into judgment, because I was about to say that you think would be a great fit. Sometimes we have a mindset that this person may not be a great fit. Leave that up to the team leader. Sometimes people are not a great fit because of the environment that they're in currently, and their whole personality could change because of the fact that they're in a different environment. So leave that up to your team leader to be able to work through that and make that decision. Now, again, this is some homework that I want you to do. So I want you to picture your tree growing, okay? Where could you find people that you would like to work with? Fill in some names here of some people that you might know at another company that you think would be a great fit. You may want to take this piece of paper out and then hand it to your team leader and say, I want you to help me grow my profit share tree. Get on the growth committee of your ALC. Use this, get with your team leader and say, I want to be purposeful about this. So you really have a focus on building this, and your team leader knows that this is an interest of yours, so they can work with you on this, okay? So where can you find people to build relationships with? That was, again, on page 27. So how does this work? Start the conversation. Set up a time to meet with people. Look for opportunities to help. Refer them to your team leader, as I said. Share a real compliment. Ask them for their input or their expertise, okay? People always love to be able to receive a phone call. Imagine this. Imagine if you were doing transactions. How would you feel if an agent from another company called you up and said, hey, Jessica, this is George over at ABC Realty. I just wanted to call and say, thank you so much for doing that transaction with me. You are really an amazing agent. Jessica, wouldn't you feel good if somebody called you up and just gave you gratitude?
Of course.
Okay. Well, Jessica, imagine if you did that on the other side and called an agent that you just did a transaction with. How do you think they would feel about you calling? Wouldn't they feel great?
Absolutely.
Now, guys, I'm going to give you some old-fashioned real estate advice because I've been in the real estate business. I know I don't look it, but I've been in the real estate business since 1972. And old-fashioned real estate advice is, guess who buys and sells houses? Other realtors. In other words, if you have a listing, guess who you need to contact? You need to contact agents that have a lot of buyers that you know work that geographic territory. And you want to call them and you want to say, hey, Sally, this is George over at Keller Williams Realty. I just want to let you know I just took a listing at 123 Elm Street. It's a 3-2. It's got a great blah, 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 blah. Just been renovated. I know you're really active in that area. I just want to let you know it just came on the market. That's how you sell houses, guys. You don't need Zillow. You don't need all this other stuff. This is how you sell houses. picking up your phone and calling your own database to say, hey, who do you know? I just took a listing 2 miles from your house. Who would you like to know that you might know in your sphere that's interested in living in a neighborhood over here, blah, 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 blah. Pick up the phone and do some lead generation. Pick up the phone and let people know you're in the real estate business, guys, okay? That's the old-fashioned way before internet and newspapers and advertising. We sell houses through other real estate agents because other real estate agents are the people that list and sell. You know, I was on a call with Rebecca Rivers not too long ago, and she said something that was kind of really, to me, was like enlightening. She said, it's really interesting about the real estate business because we go into a listing, like it could be a Keller Williams agent, it could be a Coldwell Banker agent, it could be a RE/MAX agent. We could all go in individually and try to get that listing. And whoever got the listing, got the listing. We all walk out of there partners. We go in competing, we walk out partners because we all want to do the right thing for our client or our clients, our buyer clients, and sell that house. And we all want to do the right thing for that seller and sell that house. So it's interesting because we go in as competitors, we walk out partners and helping everybody succeed. So I want you to think about that because when you're picking up the phone and you're sharing a compliment and you're calling other agents in your area, do you think that they're going to think about you first? If they've got a listing or if they've got a buyer and they see that it's your listing, they're going to say, wow, you know what, she said is really great to work with. You know, it's just in their head that you're a great agent. I know we have to do the right thing because we can't show preferential treatment. However, you know that when you're easier to work with, that agents love being in relationships with agents that they know do a great job, right? So always keep that in your mind. All right, so set a meeting. Meet with a co-op agent. This is on page 31. Meet with a co-op agent. Meet with an agent that you just met. Invite an agent to join you at an event. You know, right now we have a lot of digital events, so it's really, really easy right now to invite an agent to coming up. We're going to have family reunion. We have many, many events on our Keller Williams calendar. By the way, Ashley, would you put in the KW North Florida hub for them? KWNorthFlorida.com is where you can go and you can see our events calendar. So if you have agents that you think would love to be able to attend one of our events, make sure that, you know, right now our calendar, because we got the holidays coming up, we just finished business planning clinic and a lot of other things, but it'll become enriched again in January. Your market center has many, many events that are going on. There's a ton of events that you can probably do through KW Connect that might be open. Our pivot on Facebook is another great thing that you could send people to. Ashley, can you put that in the James Shaw? You know what I'm talking about? You know, there's tons of things that you can utilize right now to be able to show value. And that's all you're doing. You're coming from contribution to show value. And so here you have 3 scripts that you can utilize to be able to and customize them to what feels good for you. We're just giving you an idea. So this is my, hey, it was so much fun doing that transaction with you. I really like the way that you handled that inspection. You did an excellent job. Thank you so much. Can we meet for coffee next Tuesday? I just want to get to know you. I have a small gift of appreciation and I'd like to give to you. How about Tuesday at 10 o'clock? Now, what could that small gift of appreciation be? I'm going to show you here in just a few minutes as to what you can give people, okay? Call people you listed earlier. This is an activity. So this again is homework. So call people, compliment them, write down what happens, and then this says be prepared to share your results, but make sure that you go back and do some of this homework. Again, working with maybe somebody in your market center, okay? So look for opportunities to help, get to know them, share insights, support each other, ask them about themselves, share your business tools and insights, be open to any outcomes. And over time, this is not a race. This is not a race. This is, well, I guess what I want to say, it's not a sprint, right? This sometimes takes time, but if you never start the relationship, you'll never be able to get to the finish line. So start building those opportunities. Coming from contribution on page 35, it talks about, I think that's here, insights from your team meeting, your GPS, your goals, priorities, strategies. If you don't have these worksheets, you can go to the One Thing website and you can find some of these things. The 411 worksheet, you can also get these from your team leader. The One Thing, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, Shift. I think I've got a slide coming up here. Ashley, did we put this in their chat? Okay, so I believe you all have access to all of these things here. So the simple coffee question, the simple event question, the business consultation question, the training question, the simple gift question. And then here's all the free things that you can utilize. Why not invite them to a business consultation session free with your team leader? It might be a tech audit. It might be a 30-30-40 conversation. It might be a leverage conversation, okay? It might just be finding the gap in their business. Invitation to a training in their market center. I want you guys, when we're done here, to be able to go to technology.kw.com and check it out. It's a phenomenal site with so many things on there that you will learn about our Keller Williams technology. It's just going to blow your mind. When you're in technology.kw.com, if you look up to the right, up at the top, there's going to be another little area that says out front. We've given you how to get to that, but it's really easy if you're in technology.kw.com to go up in the upper right and click on out front. Check out all the different information that we have there. Hey, Ashley, you know what else I want to give them is, you know, our market of the moment stats. I'd love to be able, and I want to add that to this, okay? Our millionaire real estate agent, Keller Inc. If you've not been to Keller Inc. to see all the tools that are provided for you there, MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Investor, the One Thing book, Flip, Hold, Your First Home. It just has a plethora of materials there for you to be able to utilize. The Shift book is on Keller Inc. Millionaire Real Estate Investor, all these things that I just mentioned. The One Thing book is listed there as well, but you can also get that. And a ton of resources on the One Thing. The One Thing website, you can get a ton of resources on, all for free. These are all free things, guys. Well, not buying a book, but your market center would have books. But on the One Thing, there is a ton of materials on the One Thing that you can utilize. Free podcasts, Think Like a CEO, the One Thing. And then the Keller Williams Real Estate Training on our YouTube channel. So Ashley is putting in a website right now that's called kwnorthflorida.com. When you go to kwnorthflorida.com, there's going to be an area that you can go and click on that's going to have our YouTube training. And there's 3 YouTube channels there. One is the Keller Williams Real Estate Training. One is just Keller Williams Realty. And the middle one is our North Florida YouTube channel. Each one of those channels has a ton of training, not only beneficial for you, but beneficial to be able to give to any recruit. And by the way, that KW North Florida site, you can send out to everyone as well. Now, Ashley just put in, if I click on this, Ashley, will it open up? Let's see, it says download. Well, it's making me download something. I said save. Okay, open file. Can you guys all see this? All right, let me minimize it. Okay. These are just some of our breakthrough moments, guys. Agents added a cumulative 60.8 million contacts in command. 60.8 million contacts in command. 120.8 million home searches were conducted in our app in just Q3. Command now hosts 143,000 active users. We had 18,597 live referrals were sent within the Keller Cloud for $5.2 billion in real estate sales. By the way, we closed $282 billion in sales. This was through September. That's like $1 billion a day we sell in real estate. We've put out 21,111 smart plans. Campaigns have added $2 million in leads, and the lead amount is like $1.87, I believe, $1.76 per lead. Guys, some of the things that we do are absolutely phenomenal within our company. We just don't tell our story at the highest level. So I wanted to make sure that all of you have access to that, so you'll be able to get some of those tools to be able to utilize and be able to tell your Keller Williams story. And then these scripts, I've kind of already shared with you that these scripts are here, but on page 37, it says refer them to the team leader. This is that script about I love doing transactions with you. You're amazing, or you're awesome. I told my team leader just the other day how great you are. She is going to be calling to thank you for the way you do business. Please promise to take my team leader's call. That's all you need to do. Now, here's the thing, guys. They could say to you, thank you, but I don't want to be recruited. Here's your comeback. You say, I understand, no problem. We just want to thank you for being a great agent. That's all I want you to do. You don't have to do a comeback like, well, why not? Well, Keller Williams is don't go there. Just say, I understand. I understand. And you could even just do this. You can say, I understand. I just wanted to say thank you again for being a great agent. Boom, that's it. Go back to your team leader. Let your team leader know that you had that conversation and what the agent said. The team leader will know how to handle it. They may do something like this. They may say, hey, Sally, this is Georgia at Keller Williams. I know you were just talking to Jessica. She shared with me that you didn't want to be recruited. However, I couldn't resist telling you how much she appreciated doing the transaction with you. I'm merely calling to give gratitude and thank you. Thanks for being a great agent. I hope you have a wonderful day. That's it, guys. That's it. I promise you that's it. Don't be afraid to have that conversation because you're opening up a door. You know what? Here's the thing. I know each and every one of you and agents out there did not wake up today to be recruited to another company. It's just like agents. They did not wake up today to be able to list their house. But someday, even though they told you they weren't interested in listing today, they're going to list their house, whether it be today, tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now. You must stay in contact with people because we may not be their first choice right now, but don't you want to be their second choice should that day happen that they ever want to make a choice? And that's what I want you to think about. And here's some other scripts if you want to do it. I don't intend to recruit you. I hope you aren't disappointed. My team leader and I just wanted to thank you. I know some of you don't want to get into those kinds of conversations, so I just gave you another little easier script to say, I understand. Just wanted to thank you for doing business. Here's some things that we want to make sure that you don't say about any company. You never want to be negative about a company or say anything negative or about what you might think about what another agent is experiencing, okay? And then find out with your team leader, how do they want to receive referrals? There may be, we don't encourage sticky notes. We do encourage specific forms or different things or a method that your team leader likes to get referrals. So work with your team leader on how they would like to get referrals. And again, this is an activity that we're not going to be doing right now. So here's some other things we're going to encourage you to do. Connect with agents on social media. Okay, this is on page 41. Call the agent about an item that you shared, invite them to a class, enter them in your command, and track when you contacted the agent and what you talked to them about. Maybe put the agent on a neighborhood nurturer or smart plan. Again, maybe use this as part of your smart plan for calling them when you have a listing in a specific neighborhood. Offer your KW app. By the way, and this is another activity, but this is something, again, that's homework that you want to do. I want to make sure that you know that every Wednesday, now we've got some off days because of Thanksgiving. Actually, is it every Wednesday or Thursday or Tuesday? Dining with Donnie. Or what's on Wednesday? It's called On the Menu. It's called we've had different names for it, but it's called On the Menu. Every Wednesday at noon, Donnie, our regional tech trainer, does a phenomenal job of finding things, masterminds, updates with technology, all the different things that are technology, Facebook, social media, command related. Make sure, and by the way, if you go to kwnorthflorida.com, you're going to be able to find when those classes are, any other classes that we have, or Profit Share, my advanced Profit Share class, my opportunity class, anything that we have, you're going to find on that site there. And make sure that you're engaging with Donnie on technology. By the way, when you go to our YouTube channel, we have the recorded video. So for some reason you're not able to attend, we have the recorded videos for you to be able to watch through there as well, okay? So as we finish up today, a couple of things I want you to think about. What would your passive income do for you and your family? How many people do you want in your first level? What activities will you engage in regularly? How are you going to engage today, and how are you going to stay on track? So I want you to really think about this. Maybe find a profit share partner in your market center, somebody that's interested in growing their passive income as well. Get with that person and hold each other accountable. It's really simple, guys. You do a transaction, you give gratitude, you call the agent that you just closed the transaction with, and you tell them what a great job they did. Now, let's be totally transparent. Sometimes you're going to think, oh my gosh, I really don't want to call that agent because it wasn't so great. But hey, you got the deal closed, and so there's got to be some kind of gratitude. Even if it wasn't a great transaction, you could call them and say, hey, you know what? I wanted to call you. I know that we got a little bit sideways with each other, and at the same time, we got the deal closed and we changed the lives of some individuals. So I just wanted to say thanks for sticking with me and doing the transaction. You could be changing the life of somebody that you don't even know that you're changing the life, because you never know what's going on in the life of somebody else and why they may have a different attitude than you have. So always go with the mindset of your job is to change people's lives. You never know who you're going to be touching. So this is what we covered today. So now I'm going to open it up for some ahas that you can put in the chat box, or you can go off mute and tell me, what did you learn today? How will what you learned impact your business? Is there anything I left out? What did you think of the course? And how did we do in an hour and 15 minutes? Who wants to go off mute and give me some ahas? Anybody? You didn't stick with me for an hour and 15. Well, I kept everybody on you. You didn't stick with me for an hour and 15 minutes and hopefully didn't learn anything. So tell me something that you learned. Don't be embarrassed.
I'll go.
All right, go. Is that Melissa?
Yes, it is. I learned that, specifically in my role, because I'm not actually an agent, I'm a director of talent. So in my role, this could help, as I help our team build their profit tree, it also will help me to build upon my own income as well.
Yes, that's exactly right. And the other thing is, I want to make sure, Melissa, you bring up a good point, is that I want to make sure that everybody understands you don't need to be an agent to earn profit share. Anybody that joins Keller Williams, even if you're an agent and you have an assistant and they work from home or, in their own location, make sure they get entered into the Win More system by the MCA so they can benefit from the profit share, because anybody can earn profit share. It does not have to be a real estate agent. You earn profit share through a real estate agent, but you don't have to be an agent to earn profit share. Does that make sense to everybody? So Melissa, you know what? You can make calls to agents at which market center are you in? I can't remember.
So we're based out of Tampa Central.
Okay. And so who do you primarily, are you on somebody's team, or are you in the market center?
I'm with the Griffin Group.
That's right. Okay. So what you're doing is you're calling and you're referring people, you're looking for talented people through Indeed or various ways to be able to find people for Christina's team, right?
Correct.
Are you the gal that just joined? Or you've been there for a while?
I've been here since August.
Okay.
But in a different role on the team.
Okay, very. I knew that there were some changes being made, so I just couldn't remember it. But yeah, so you can go and you can find those people. And they can certainly name you as the sponsor, and then you're growing your tree and you're growing everybody else's tree at the same time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So great job. All right, who else? Who else wanted to learn something?
Georgia. Oh, sorry.
I see Ernst out there. He's under Gita's name, but Ernst, I haven't seen you for a while, so hello. Hey, Chisette, how can I help you?
So that's what we did with Jessica. Jessica is well, she just started with me, but she's not an agent, but she is signed up for profit share. And I'm like, we're going to make sure everybody is positioned to grow their passive income, because what I learned through COVID is you have to have, you know, different income sources.
Yeah.
I was telling people my first profit share check was the person joined before I did. So they named a substitute sponsor, and then I joined, and my first profit share check was $3,100, right?
Hey, how do you like that, Chisette?
Well, here's the thing. I said, why didn't that click then that this is something you should pay attention to? And it never did. And it's finally clicking.
Well, good. You know what? Like we said, um, uh, Linda McKissick didn't get it at first either. So there was like 3 to 5 years that she didn't really get it, and then she got it. So as long as you get it, I mean, get it physically and then get it mentally, then you know, let's grow. And I know you're part of our diversity equity task force, right?
Yes. So I have an intern now through an internship program that I started, and she's actually in the process of getting her license. So she will, you know, join and then do some things with her profit share tree, and have 2 other people starting after her.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. So congratulations on that. Really, really proud of you.
Thank you, Georgia.
Make sure that you guys attend my advanced profit share class, because we go more into detail as to how that can grow, and I show some other things. So make sure you attend that as well when you can, okay? Jessica, yes.
Hi, so how would someone like me grow my tree if, let's say, I just started and I'm not an agent, although I come into contact with other agents over the phone, they're part of Keller Williams already most of the time?
What is your role
Admin,
for Gisette's team?
correct.
But you also are going to be doing some transactions with agents that are not part of Keller Williams, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, so not everything that she sells is a Keller Williams listing. So you're going to come in contact with other admin people or other agents that are on the other side of the transaction. So that's where your opportunities would come. That's what we were talking about, the co-brokes. That's what we're talking about when you do a transaction with another agent. You know, you would call them and say, hey, thanks for doing business. You did an awesome job. You know, I'd love to have my team leader call you and thank you for doing business with us, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then put them on a nurturer, invite them to events. And here's the thing. Sometimes, Jessica, the biggest opportunity is with the admin and not with the agent. Because the admin wants to know, like when you say, oh my gosh, it's so easy at Keller Williams and we have all this great training, the admin's going to go, we don't have anything like that here. So the admin sometimes has influence over the agent more so than the agent makes a decision. You see what I mean?
Absolutely. I think you just started the ball rolling in my head now, actually.
And you know, we have admin masterminds, or you know, get involved in some of Donnie's classes about command and technology and stuff, and maybe create an admin mastermind for agents or something. Which I can't remember which market center you guys are in. She's at.
And we're in New Tampa, KW 95.
Yeah. So maybe find out if they've got like an admin mastermind going on, or maybe Jessica, start an admin mastermind in your market center, and then get other admins from other companies to be a part of that as well.
I like that very much.
I like that, yeah.
By the way, I'm not sure how much experience you have, but she said you might want to check the Perfect Real Estate Assistant. That's the Monica Reynolds training for a real estate assistant. That's really, really awesome training if you guys are looking for something like that. That's under the MAPS coaching program.
Okay, does she have anything in there related to profit share?
Well, that's about the Perfect Real Estate Assistant. That's about training a real estate assistant. But
Okay.
no, no, there's multiple things that we have on profit share and wealth building and stuff that we'll make sure that we're going to get some of those classes that are put on the on our KW North Florida site, so you guys are familiar with the other external stuff that's happening too.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions or anything I can help you with?
Georgia, I do have one.
Sure.
So in and amongst, and really, I guess this could work for anybody that hears this. One of the recruits that I was talking to this past week and mentioned profit share in our discussion, their immediate response to, and maybe you can guide me on how to answer or combat this comment, was saying that our profit share is just like a multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, that's we've heard that, and just say that is so funny. That's probably something that your broker, who told you that? Your broker? I mean, just ask him, just say, that is so funny because we've been in business for over 35 years. If this was a scheme, don't you think we'd be locked up and in jail by now?
okay.
Okay.
No, you would have collapsed by now.
Right. And just say, the only reason that people say that is, number one, they're trying to dispel how fabulous the $1.6 billion has been that we've distributed. Okay. Second thing is, people get it confused because they've not really attended our profit share class, so they understand it. And people get it confused because of the fact that it's a 7-level distribution. Now, Melissa, I'm going to give you a little bit of teaching here, okay? Just say, I would say, so if you, Melissa, ask me the question, and I'm going to, by the way, this is being recorded so you guys can go back and listen to this, but Melissa, give me the question and just tell me whatever they say to you.
Well, we were talking about, all of the benefits of KW, because in my role, not only am I trying to sell.
But just role play with me, and you be that person and give me the pushback.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I've heard about your profit share, and to me, it really just seems like it's a scheme. It's a multi-level marketing scheme, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Well, you know what? That's fine. First of all, at Keller Williams, you don't have to be a part of it. Equal opportunity, unequal outcome. The second thing is, we've shared over $1.6 billion of owners' profit. And so I can understand that you might be confused because maybe somebody shared their thoughts about it that it does not really understand it. So let me explain it to you this way. We, as a company, we share our profits. So have you ever been in a position or a job where somebody has actually given you a bonus for doing a great job? That's the same thing our profit share does. We have profit in our company, and all we do is, through a distribution chain, we actually share our profits back with our agents for helping us grow our company. There's nothing that has to be invested. You don't have to put up money. You don't have to buy anything. It's just simply that our owners decided to bonus our agents for helping them grow our company. I'd love to have you listen into one of our profit share classes if that's something that you'd be interested in. But honestly, if profit share is not something you're interested in, it's not a requirement in the Keller Williams system, and that's the beauty of it. And then you could say, to be honest with you, if it was a profit share scheme, don't you think after 40 years we would have been shut down by now?
Okay.
You like
Thank
that? You like that explanation? It's
I did.
very calm and very to the point.
Okay.
Okay. And I sometimes, when somebody says that to me, I say, oh my gosh, that's so funny that people are still saying that after 40 years, people still think that profit share is a scheme. With all due respect, that's people sharing that story with people who really don't understand who we are. That's another way that you can approach that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, this video will actually be posted to our KW North Florida site, and you go into YouTube, and it probably takes about a day or two. So probably by tomorrow afternoon, this will be posted. It usually takes a couple, 2 or 3 hours for it to download. And then by the time we get it loaded up, it'll be loaded up probably by tomorrow. So you'll be able to go in and watch this if you want to just get some ideas or listen to it again, or fast forward to whatever you want to listen to. So you've been amazing today. I so appreciate all of you. Thank you for being on the call. Again, I encourage you to go to my advanced profit share class and learn some more. And did you put that in the chat? Okay, Ashley put that information in the chat. And from the bottom of our heart, we want to give gratitude. Ashley and I want to give gratitude to you for everything that you do for helping us be the company who we are. We're all one big family at Keller Williams, and we thank you for everything you do, and we hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much, Georgia.
You're welcome, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.